Hi everyone, this is Sylvain from the cooking class at Nunavimmi Pigiursavik. Today I'm going to show you a simple recipe. We're going to make a white sauce. What is a white sauce? Actually, it's called a bechamel sauce. It's one of the 5 classic French sauce. So today I'm going to show you that. It's very simple, very fast. So let's start. First of all, you need a small saucepan like that to do your recipe. The ingredients, I'm using 3 cups of milk, 1/4 of a cup of butter. You can use margarine also if you don't have any butter. 1/4 of a cup of flour. I'm going to use a bit of onions. I'm also using some cloves on it. Cloves is a spice. This is clove. I'm going to put these little cloves on the onion. We call that a stud onion. And oops, we're going to use that. And also I got some nutmeg. I'm gonna use a rasp to grate it. You can also use some ground nutmeg if you prefer. I got fresh pepper and I got salt here. Well, let's start the recipe now. First of all, I'm gonna preheat my saucepan at medium-high temperature. So I want to melt the butter in it. I don't want to put any coloration on the butter. I mean by that, I don't want my butter to become brown. So it will remain yellow. So I'm going to melt the butter. Takes a little time to do that. Then as soon as it's melted, I'm going to add my flour to it, okay? Just like that, in one shot. And with the spoon, I'm going to stir. It's going to make some kind of a paste. That paste is called a roux in French cooking. And it's a thickener agent. So it's going to thicken the sauce. So I'm just mixing it like that. And I'm going to cook that for 1 minute while stirring with my spoon. Here I got a plastic spoon. You can use a wooden spoon, a metal spoon, it doesn't matter. So I just want to cook my flour for 1 minute. Then after that I'm going to add my milk. You can see there, it's bubbling a little bit. It's cooking. Well, that's it. That side. I got 3 cups of cold milk. I'm going to add it. A little bit at the beginning. I'm going to stir with my whisk. I want to be sure that I'm going to mix the milk with all the flour at the beginning. Yeah. Now it's becoming kind of thick like that. And I'm going to add all the milk. You have to be fast at that moment to avoid to have any lump. So while I'm stirring, I'm going to use the spoon to be sure there's no flour in the corner of the saucepan. Okay, now I'm sure there's no lump. It's all clear and nice like that. So while you're doing that, don't go away. You have to stir your sauce and do it in one shot. Otherwise it's going to stick. Milk stick and burn very easily. So now I'm going to add my spice, a little bit of my nutmeg, just like that. Not too much, a little bit. A bit of fresh pepper. And a bit of salt also. Too bit of salt. I will readjust the seasoning at the end of the recipe. So now I'm stirring. It's getting a bit thicker already. But I want to see some bubble on top. So it means it's boiling. And I want to cook that for 2-3 minutes. When it's going to be boiling. After it starts boiling. So I keep stirring, so I'm going to have a very smooth sauce if I stir all the time. After a few minutes, it's going to start to boil. You're going to see some bubble on top. And from that moment, I want to cook it for 3 minutes. Let's say 3 to 5 minutes, but 3 minutes should be enough. You still need to stir, otherwise it's gonna stick. Okay. I'm just gonna add my special ingredients. Garlic. Fresh garlic in the sauce will make a big difference. I'm using a garlic crusher to crush it. It's much more easier than chopping it very finely. So I'm just gonna crush it in my sauce like that. This is my special spice, special seasoning, my garlic. Okay, it's been boiling for a couple of minutes now. Beautiful smell. And now I'm going to turn that off. It's going to keep boiling a little bit. I'm going to use my spoon to stir. I'm just going to, at that point, remove my onion. Okay. It's in two parts. If it becomes too thick, you can add a little bit of milk to make it more thinner. So at that point, you can see it's very thick. It's boiling, and now it's ready. It's cooked. I'm gonna take it off, and at the end, I'm gonna add some cheese. It's not part of the classic bechamel sauce, but with the cheese, it's gonna become a Mornay sauce, and it's gonna be a cheese sauce, very good on pasta. I'm using 1 cup of any kind of cheese. Here I'm using sharp cheddar cheese. And I'm going to stir it while it's hot. It's going to melt right away. At the end, I'm going to recheck the seasoning to be sure it's going to be perfect to my taste. Now my cheese is melted, and using a spoon, I'm going to make a little test. Maybe a little bit of salt, tiny bit of pepper. I'm going to stir again. And that's it. I have a beautiful bechamel sauce, or a white sauce that I can put on pasta, and it will make a delicious meal. So that's it for me today. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and also if you want, you can subscribe by clicking on the red button. It really helps me to produce this video, and I will see you in the next one.